X-Men The Dark Phoenix is directed by Simon Kinberg and stars a lot of people, mainly Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. You've got Jennifer Lawrence, you've got Nicholas Hoult, but Sophie Turner is back as Jean Grey. This time, while they're going out to save some astronauts, Jean Grey gets absorbed with some weird shit. She then comes back, feels a little bit weird, then starts destroying shit. She's been taken over by some weird alien entity, and then this woman called Cux comes along with like a weird alien race, and they try and take it away from her. But Jean is loving destroying the other X-Men. Now, the X-Men movies make about as much sense as the DCEU. They're a bit of a clusterfuck. They don't really know what they're doing. They've had a couple of gems in there with Logan and Days of Future Past, but the whole thing, you know, keeps resetting timelines or going back and all this sort of shit. It's not very, you know, it's not much on the continuity side of things. It's a bit shitty. So yeah, I like the X-Men, but the films aren't really doing that great. Look, I'm not going to immediately hate on this movie like everybody else is with the terrible Rotten Tomatoes score of, I think it's like 23%. This movie has been, Simon Kinberg has written X-Men movies, but this is his first time directing, so I can kind of give him that. But the acting of the movie wasn't all bad and all that. I think it was mainly the decisions made. Now, of course, Fox and Sony and everyone's owned by Disney now, so you can kind of tell it's a huge franchise. They're going to reboot the X-Men, so they had to kind of end the X-Men that Fox have had with this one. It's not the perfect way to end it, honestly. They've made some decisions that they probably thought were like Infinity War worthy, things that happen to certain characters. Look, I'm late to the movie, so I'm gonna tell you, so spoiler warning, but we lose Mystique in this movie. She gets impaled on a spike. You know, we lose some people in this movie because they're gonna reset. Obviously, Jennifer Lawrence has outwardly spoken about not being Mystique anymore, so I'm interested to see who they will get in, because she was good as Mystique. You know, there's just so many things that, you know, they're trying to shut down. We lose Jean Grey in the movie as well. Sophie Turner was a good Jean Grey. I hope that they can, you know, boost these things up, but quite clearly this was just a rush to the finish, and we've heard a lot of things in the background about what went wrong with this movie, the amount of rewrites that went on, reshoots. The movie was pushed back twice before it came out, so I'm reviewing it late, but the movie came out late, so fuck you, movie. I don't care. The entire thing was just a bit of a mess, and if I was to say you were going to end the X-Men, I would have been happy with Logan. End it there. Everyone was already dead. Didn't need this. Really, we didn't. Also, we get to our villains. We've got my forever crush Jessica Chastain as Cux. She has no real, she just wants this thing that is inside Jean. That's it. There's no real meat to her. There's no, you know, there's no story other than she just walks ominously and slowly at everyone, and she just sort of does this, and they all do things. There's nothing to her. She's the most one-dimensional villain I've ever seen, and that is weird, because if you're going to shell out for Jessica Chastain, get her some meat to grab onto, and for her to act the shit out of it. She can clearly do it, so just give it to her. If she comes back to the MCU in another movie or another franchise of the MCU, awesome. I want to see her in my MCU. I'm in love with her, but this wasn't the role that she should have taken. If you want a bare bones look at this movie, look at X3, The Last Stand, the worst of the original X-Men trilogy. It's that, but worse again. This is by no means the worst X-Men movie. You take that one, X-Men Apocalypse. But at the end of Apocalypse, Jean had a good reason for having the Phoenix. You know, she had unleashed that part of her power. And in this movie, they kind of dampen that and just fuck that bit off because it's not what the director wanted. Right, fine, but it's more organic than just absorbing shit in space. You know? I think that would have been a much more... have some fucking continuity in your movies, rather than just, I've got a better idea. Okay, fine, but they set up that she unleashed it, and now she just likes killing and has cracks in her face, and you know, it's a total, you had it there. Honestly guys, the actors in this are quite clearly great. We got a lot of good cast in this movie, but I really hope that Marvel can do what they did with Spider-Man and just clean this shit up and start again. I really do hope they can do that. The X-Men deserve it. They've had a couple of glimpses of pure brilliance in there, but they've just fallen by the wayside again. I was kind of expecting it, which is not a good thing to do when you're going into a movie, to expect it to fail, but I wasn't wrong. That is just awful for me to say. I'm a huge MCU fan, but Marvel, please do what Fox should have done in the first place. Make it right again. Please, I implore you. This is a more serious review because I'm just so disappointed. It's just not fair. If you take anything good from this whole franchise that's just finished now, please take two actors that fucking nailed it every single time. Fassbender and McAvoy as Magneto and Charles Xavier. They are the best of the entire bunch. They need to be back. I love them in this movie. I loved them in every one they've been in. They work so well together. Do that again. Do everything else different. Sweet. Guys, with all of this being said, I'm going to give X-Men Dark Phoenix a 1.5 out of 5. So there you have it guys. Sorry I sound a bit nasally. I've just been coming off of being sick. I'm getting there though. I can finally talk without gunge coming out of my face. So yeah guys, if you have seen the movie then please let me know what you thought. Honestly, this is a film that may divide people. I really want to know. So please, let me know and make me feel loved by showing me in the comments down below. And before you go guys, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Love me. Please love me. Until next time guys, is your friendly neighbourhood ginger guy saying, Ginge out.